Good afternoon, everyone. This is student meteorologist Daniela Strudy giving you another update on Hurricane Helene. Currently, not much updates from the National Hurricane Center from the 11 a.m. advisory. 2 p.m. advisory says that Helene is still at 80 miles per hour, sustained winds moving north-northwest at about 10 miles an hour. Pressure is also staying about the same as it is skirting past the Yucatan Peninsula and starting to enter the very warm Gulf waters and slowly approaching towards the Florida Peninsula. We even have some recon data from hurricane hunters coming in. We have sustained wind speeds of 71 miles an hour towards the parts of the storm and a minimum surface pressure of 979 millibars, and that is expected to drop significantly as the next 24 to 36 hours rolls forward. And as we move to the cone, we have again a category 1 for now, but is anticipated later today to continue to intensify to a category 2 and possibly category 3 overnight and into tomorrow before making landfall around the Big Bend coast of Florida. And again, a little zoomed in here. Thursday night is around the time we expect landfall, and we can expect winds sustained at 125 miles an hour towards the coast. Gusts can be much higher, and because Helene is expected to be a fast-moving system, we can anticipate those winds, hurricane force and tropical storm force, to stay well inland, which is going to be a major threat for inland Big Bend counties. And here's a zoom in of a more model consensus. This line, pink line right here in the middle, is the middle track that the National Hurricane Center has, and this clear section here is the whole cone of uncertainty that the National Hurricane Center has given. So a lot of models are saying that it could tilt to the east parts of Tallahassee. However, this wobbling effect to east to west is still very uncertain, and there is a lot of different factors that can play into this change in the next day or so. And even if the models do verify that it is a more eastern tilt, Tallahassee and western parts of the Big Bend can still see extreme impacts with wind, rain, and then at the coast, of course, the threat of storm surge. Peak storm surge has gone up to 18 feet across the Big Bend coast, going down into the Nature Coast, into the Gulf portion of the peninsula. We can see from St. Mark's and Carabel all the way down to Homosassa, up to 18 feet of storm surge. And this is extremely life-threatening. I am 5 feet tall. That is more than 2 of me, okay? More than 3 of me up in the air. And this is, of course, values, the maximum values we can anticipate. However, regardless of that matter, storm surge at this height, up to 12 feet, 10 feet, even 8 feet, 6 feet, is extremely life-threatening. There are many mandatory evacuations that have been mandated throughout the coastal parts of the state. Please adhere to those evacuations. They are important for your life and safety. And if you have not left yet, you need to do so now and immediately. And if you are going to leave, you need to go west, because the rest of the state does still have tropical storm conditions. Tropical storm warnings are in effect. You even see storm surge is possible on the Atlantic coast of Florida as well. So please keep that in mind. And as we see the wind radii here, you see again the tropical storm warnings are in place for a reason, as tropical storm force winds in yellow are engulfing the entire peninsula as Helene approaches the state. And you can see here in the orange and reds, those are the stronger hurricane force winds approaching the Big Bend area well outside of the center. So that is the huge threat on top of storm surge. Is the wind gradient of this storm is going to be quite massive, and those high sustained winds of tropical to hurricane force are going to bring widespread power outages, down trees, and passable roads, and that is the real hazards that we need to really pay attention to here. Max wind gusts can be expected. This is one model, keep in mind. As tomorrow goes forward, we do have wind gusts up to 20 to 30, 40 miles an hour. And as the storm approaches, this model has it hitting farther to the southeast and Cross City. You can see 127 mile an hour wind gusts, and even some of that can be higher depending. However, if the storm does decide to move west, then those winds you can expect to be higher and closer to the Leon County area. Rain on top of that, on top of the storm surge, on top of the winds, yes, Helene is going to be a fast-moving storm. However, the other threat is still rain. We're expecting a lot of rainfall, up to half a foot in Tallahassee or even more locally in other areas. But majority of the Big Bend in South Georgia is going to see well over 5 inches of rain. And this is after we've already had weeks worth of rain. If we don't mind recall, a couple weeks ago, we had several days of heavy rain, and that has connected a lot of flood issues for our area. And we take a look here in a motion of our future radar of Helene. This is around tomorrow morning about Helene, and started approaching the southern parts of Florida, and outer bands will begin to experience that tomorrow morning as well. That's when the wind and rain is going to begin to pick up. And now we take a look at Doak right now. Around the Big Bend in South Georgia, we're staying mostly in the low to mid 80s, 85 in Tallahassee right now, and we're going to stay pretty much in the mid to high 80s and even overcast skies throughout the rest of the day today. And that's going to pretty much stay across the Big Bend. Even taking a look right now at Shell Point 77, we got some clouds, maybe some peaks of sunshine here and there, but overall we're going to be staying pretty gloomy today as we prepare for Helene. And same for St. George Island, and also in the path of extreme destruction right now with storm surge and winds. 77 and cloudy, maybe a northwest breeze at 6 miles per hour. And as we take a look at Naples, as Helene does approach the southwest Gulf portion of Florida, has some isolated thunderstorms possible, but right now it seems to say sunny and 85, so hopefully you guys down in Naples enjoy that sunshine while it lasts before the rain begins to enter in tonight into tomorrow. Miami, much of the same. They won't be experiencing as much of the tropical conditions as the rest of the state as they're staying farther east. However, they still will see probably some of those rain bands and gusty winds. Are staying right now at 89 and cloudy, and definitely heat index at 104 is definitely really hot in Miami right now. Take a look at our live radar. We have a couple of scattered showers and storms towards the coast of Taylor County, and even to our west in the coast of Port St. Joe and Franklin County. They already had a flash flood warning this morning from another thunderstorm coming from the Gulf Coast, and this is already not great news. As seen, we're already expecting a lot of wind, rain, and surge coming up within the next 24 to 36 hours.